A few days ago, I met a very enthusiastic founder. I mean, she had done a lot of work with different clients previously, but it was when she was still trying out her idea. So I asked her what she was doing. And she said to me, "Oh, yeah, I want to launch my business now. Now I'm thinking about my logo. I want to build a website. I want to register with the HMRC, and I want to create flyers. I need business cards. I probably need to write a business plan." And she went on like that. And I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, you need to stop." And she goes, "What do you mean by I need to stop?" I said, "Everything you have been telling me you need to do, they're not wrong things, but they're not the right things for now. What you need to do is this. You already have existing clients or potential clients that you've worked with in the past, even though you did it for free. Now you need to go back to them with an offer that you can monetize. That's what you need to do next. You don't need business cards to do that. You don't need a business plan to do that. You don't need to have registered with HMRC before you can do that. You don't need a website before you can do that. You don't need a logo. You don't need anything for you to go back to those people and say, I'm now launching my business. Are you interested in my particular products? The reason why I say that is because sometimes, or we can even look at it and say, founders get stuck when they're trying to solve tomorrow's problems today. Let me say that again. Founders get stuck when they're trying to solve tomorrow's problems today. And what then happens is that people become overwhelmed, they get confused, and then they take no action whatsoever, and they generate no sales. And so the business does not have the chance to get off the ground. I don't want that for you. Welcome to the Founder's Journey. In this particular video, we're going to talk about the one thing that could possibly be holding your business back. What is the one thing preventing you from getting to the next stage of your founder's journey? We're going to explore that. We want to eliminate it so that you can move your business forward. All right. The adaptive startup principle states that you got to be asking the right questions. Rather than saying or asking, what else do I need? You need to be asking, really, what is the one thing I need to do right now? Or what is the one thing I need to solve right now? What is the one constraint that I need to solve right now? That's a better question, because every founder stage has one primary outcome. The constraint at any given moment is simply whatever presents that stage primary outcome from coming to light. So sometimes you are at a founder stage where you need to achieve a specific outcome. You are at a stage that requires a specific goal, something that needs to be done. But the single obstacle between you and that outcome is actually your constraint that you need to focus on eliminating. All right. If we look at the different founder stages from you are maybe an explorer or a builder, that's the second stage. The third stage is an operator. The fourth stage is a growth founder. And the fifth stage is a visionary founder. So if you look at it that way, what are the primary, generally speaking, what are the primary constraints for each stage? So if you are an explorer, right, the primary outcome is for you to choose the right business. So the constraint you should be trying to solve is the lack of decision, or because you haven't made a decision. You need to make a decision on what business you're actually going to try. And I would suggest, like somebody asked me yesterday, can I try out two businesses at the same time? I said, no, try one business at a time, because you've not developed the capacity or the capabilities to start trying two different businesses. So you need to try out one. You need to then, once you understand this, you need to ignore everything else. You need to ignore things like, oh, I want to scale. Oh, I need to get staff. Oh, I need to automate. Oh, I need to systematize what I'm doing, because you are not at that point yet. If you are an explorer, your focus should be choosing the right business for you. Okay, second stage. Let's say you are a builder or you are at the builder stage. Your primary outcome is to get your first customers. So the constraint is that nobody has paid you yet. So what you need to do is to focus your attention on getting your first sales. So things like, I need a website, unless it is related to the delivery of your sales, you don't need a website. You don't need a logo. You don't need an office. You don't need fancy branding. You don't need expensive software. You don't need none of that. What most businesses would need at this point is really just going back to their clients or people they know to say, hey, do you want to buy this? And this is how much it is. You're giving them an offer, and it's a no-brainer offer that makes them buy. And you start getting your first sale, and you're learning from that, and you developing your product, and then moving on to the next thing. That's what you need to do if you're at the builder stage. What if you're at the operator stage? Okay, somebody at the operator stage, their primary outcome really is to start generating repeatable or reliable revenue. That's what they need to do. So you need to find a way to make sure that you're earning money on a monthly basis, on a regular basis. So that should be your focus. Everything else needs to get out of the way, right? If you're a growth founder, your primary outcome is for you to move from operator to the owner, which means that you can delegate a lot of things that you're doing. And you can now start leading people. So that's your area of focus. Everything else needs to just get out of the way and stop. If you're a visionary founder, you want to start building something bigger than yourself, because you're asking the question, what's all this for? Why am I doing this? Where am I going with this? You want to leave a legacy. You want to build something that is really intentional, something that is going to outlast you. That's what you're thinking about, because you are at the visionary stage. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. So going back to my client, and I said to her, you know what? You don't need to start thinking about registering with HMRC yet. You don't need a professional website because you don't know what you're going to put on that website, actually. What you do need is for you to start generating your first sales. You need to go back to your clients and ask them if they would buy what you are now offering. That's the constraint that needs to be eliminated so that she could get to the next stage. So every other focus was just a complete waste of time. So here's your challenge for the next few days. This is what I want you to do. You're watching this video, you're thinking, okay, that sounds good. What should I do next? What I need you to do is to just write down everything that you believe your business should be doing. Okay, so you kind of brain dump. Next, you now ask this question: which one problem, if solved, will make the biggest difference over the next 30 days? If I solve this one problem, out of all these things I've written down, what is the problem that I need to solve in the next 30 days that's going to make a huge difference? And so you focus on that. That's the way you move from one stage to another. The point is, founders don't suddenly arrive. They evolve. And what I've just taught you right now will help you to evolve as a founder. However, the first step in all this is to discover exactly where you are in your own founder's journey. So if you look in the description box below, or wherever you're watching this, you should find a link that takes you to a free founder's journey assessment tool that's going to help you to discover what stage you're at and what you need to do to get yourself to the next stage. All right, I'll see you in the next video where we start talking about building systems, but not goals. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. And if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, but do remember to go get your free Founder's Journey assessment tool. All right, God bless.